All right, we are going to be going over Docusign. So that means we're going to start from the point where you guys would go into Docusign through command. At this point, you've already put a contact in, you've created an opportunity, and we're inside of that opportunity. So I'm going to click on, now I see all of my details in front of me. I see the very first tab, details, the next installer profile, followed by marketing, documents, offers and commissions, notes, and then timeline. I'm going to click on documents. And in here, I'm going to choose a checklist type. So this is the listing that I've done. So I click pick checklist type, and I'm going to choose residential, listing, referral, or commercial sales. If you guys are doing a referral, you do still have to do an opportunity. And that's why it says listing referral in there. If you have a buyer's referral, same thing inside of a buyer's site. You still need to list that opportunity in command. If you don't, we can't track that. It's going to take a while to get your money. That's how we get orphan checks. So when you see emails from Tavia going, we have an orphan check, or whose money is this? Because it's not in command. We do need it in there so we can track that for you. We're going to click on residential though.
So, you go to opportunity first. You are on opportunity now.
Wait, what?
Are you on opportunity?
I'm an opportunity right now. Yep. So we've already created one. We're inside of that opportunity now.
Okay.
Yep. Debbie.
I'm sorry, can you simplify it for me where when you say referral, are you referring to when you refer out a lead to another agent?
Yes.
Okay.
And you have money coming in.
Got it.
Whenever you have money coming in from another agent, that has to be an opportunity within command. Yep. So I'm going to click pick checklist type. I'm going to choose residential. When we do that, we're going to see that I have 3 folders on the side, listed, under contract, and closed. And then right now we're under listed. So all the listing paperwork is going to be the required, or it's going to be the list of the paperwork that we need. And it'll say if it's required, optional, or conditional.
And
So right now we can see what
you say when you're in here, how you get that list again?
I click this, it says pick checklist type, or it did, and then I chose residential.
Okay.
And that's how I got this checklist.
Oh,
And it's up to
okay,
this.
I got
Yeah. So I have required, it shows that I need the MLS sheet, the tax record, I need, it says DS, listing agreement. What do you think DS stands for? Docusign, yes, but that symbol means it's gonna pull it in automatically for us. So we don't have to go search it. If I see DS next to it, that piece of paperwork is gonna be in my room for me, which is super nice because I don't have to go searching. Is this the right one? Is this the wrong one? It is the correct form that you need already in your room. So you don't have to worry about it. I'm gonna now click start a transaction. This creates the Docusign room for me, and it's going to bring me to Docusign to log in. So I logged into Docusign, it's going to take me into the room. Now imagine a room is where all of your documents live. The living, breathing thing inside of a room. It takes me into my 1, 2, 3, 4 test fake street listing. I'm automatically, this is a weird line. Very big. Okay, oh, it's one. Give me 1 second, it's putting me in a strange. That's not correct. So I'm gonna go to. You guys want to know the back end just to get into Rooms so you don't have to go through command all the time? Rooms.docusign.com. Rooms.docusign.com. For some reason, why is this? That's.
Oh, rooms.
Yeah, rooms.docusign.com. So right now we are on the details page. It automatically brought us into the documents page though when we first started this. And these are all the documents that it said it was going to bring in for me that had the DS next to it. So the first one is the as is residential listing contract. And then it's followed by the exclusive right of sale listing, followed by affiliated business arrangements with the blasting disclosure. You may not need all of these, but they're pulled in just in case. So if your property is not within the blasting disclosure zone, you don't need the blasting disclosure. You can leave it here or you can archive it. To archive a document, all you have to do is click the check mark in the corner, and I'm going to archive. And now it's gone. Because I know for me, if I have paperwork that I don't need, but it's still there, I'll get confused. Like, is this the right one? What's it's doing here? So I want to archive that as soon as possible. But let's say I need we're at the beginning of a listing, so I need my listing agreement signed. I'm going to open up exclusive right of sale listing agreement. And if you look at the top, it says exclusive right of sale listing agreement transaction broker. So within this property, it states that we are a transaction brokerage. And that's the state that we're going to stay in. I opened up the form and it automatically filled in some of the pieces for me. Filled in the name of my seller and it filled in the brokerage name. If I have another seller, I can put it in here. And as I go through, if I fill this form out, all the information I put in here will transfer to the other forms. So let's say here's the address. I'm going to put in the property address. Street. All right, so let's see, personal property, including appliances. I'm not going to fill this all out because otherwise you're just going to be sitting here watching me type in the text boxes. So each box in here that looks like this is a text box, and you can type in information. These are the check boxes to see if you need to have something checked. So I go through here, the price of the property. Say 0. So the financing terms, cash, conventional, VA, FHA, whatever else you guys want in here, check it off. So is this easy so far?
Yes.
Just enter it in. Just go through, fill it in. Great. We're going to pretend that I filled everything out. I'm going to hit save and close. Seller's property disclosure. We need one of those. I'm going to open this up. We're going to make sure that the information is transferred over. Look, the address is already transferred over. Great. All I have to do is get this filled out by my clients and have it signed, and it will be sent back to me. Once you fill in a document that has the most information, all you have to do is check the other ones to make sure that it's correct. So most of our work is done after you fill in the paperwork. I'm going to go to, I can do some of this stuff in the details tab as well. If I click on details, you'll see that there is a bunch of blank information that I can fill in. The more information filled in here will transfer into those documents as well. To do that, I'll click edit, and then I'll just fill it in. And then I'll hit save right here at the bottom. So now I have my exclusive right of listing sale needing to be signed. I'm gonna go into envelopes. There's two different ways you can do this. You can go into envelopes and create an envelope through here. And I want you to think of an envelope like you're actually sending mail. And once you put it in the mail or in the envelope and seal it and put it into the mail to go, it's in the mail. You can't get it back. You have to wait till it's signed and comes back to you. Think of it the exact same way. Once you send it off, you have to wait. There's no calling it back. You can discard something after someone's been signed and have it re-signed if you want to. That gets a little complicated. I would just create a fresh envelope and send it that way. So right now I need several signatures. It has, I can choose which documents I want to add in here. Oh, I don't know. There's my rooms tab, not in here. Upload. Oh, there we go. If I click upload, add rooms documents. And then I'll choose the ones that I want. This is a little more complicated than the way I recommend, but I have to show you both ways. So I'll choose the room documents. Upload. Add rooms documents, exclusive right. Add selected. Gosh, the meeting is so fun. When I add it in, it's automatically going to bring in the signers that are going to be there. So seller 1, seller 2, the listing agent, and the listing broker are going to be in there already. I'm going to actually delete this and show you the way that I like to do it. The way I prefer to make an envelope is I go into documents. I see the document here in this checkbox. I click checkbox and I'll click the pen to create an envelope. It's going to ask me who's going to be signing and who doesn't need to be sent to. I just need to sign it and my seller needs to sign it. Click continue. All right. So it's automatically going to pull in the listing agent and my seller. If I need to change anything in here, such as the signing order, right now it says 1 and 2. What do you guys think that means? 1 and 2.
Who signed?
Yeah. So if I am to sign first, Harry Potter's not going to get this until I sign it. So that's why it's number 2. If I want both people to get it at the same time, I'm going to make them both number 1. So Harry Potter is going to get changed to a number 1 as well. I'm going to put in my other email. And maybe someone doesn't need to sign. Maybe they're receiving a copy. Maybe a broker needs to, or a mortgage broker needs to get a copy of something. So I'll click instead needs to sign. I'll click down here and I can choose in-person signing, receives a copy, needs to view, specify recipients, allow to edit, update recipients, all this fun stuff. Signs of the notary. I could choose receives a copy and they'll just get a copy of it. I'm going to leave needs to sign. I can add more recipients if I want to. And then I can add a message in here. So this could be a message of instructions on what to do. It could be just here are the documents, please sign. Whatever you like to put in the message, you can. Same thing with the email subject line. I just leave it as please sign and then what documents are in there. But you can change it to whatever you would like to and make it easier on yourself, make it easy on them. Whatever you like to do, it just depends on your client. I'll click next. I'm now in the signing editing area. I'm going to go through here and I'm going to make sure that my initial boxes are automatically put in there. And if they're not where they belong, I'm going to drag it in. So let's say I needed to sign someplace, but this wasn't there. So I'm going to drag this initial in. I'll put it where it belongs, and then I have the little handlebars around it, and I'm going to make it smaller. Put it right there. So I now have 2 initial boxes. If something is required for signature, it's gonna be a solid color. If it is not required, you can double click it to select it, come over to where it says required field on the right-hand side, and uncheck that. A non-required will be a clear box. And that's optional. Go through, there's my, another initial mark. What's that?
Can you go back, what was that? Let me do big and that.
So I changed this box from required to optional. And I did that by double clicking on this. On the right-hand side, this appeared, this toolbox. I unchecked the required field. Come on, there we go. And it's now an optional. I just clicked off of it to deselect.
When you click off of it, it shows that it's just clear.
Yeah, yeah, so it'll be clear. It will not stop saying, oh, you need to sign this stuff. There are some documents that have things that are optional, but we need them to be required. So that's why you scroll through and double check that everything's correct. Do not rely on this alone. You still have to have your eyes on it saying, this is actually required, let's change it to that. That happens. So I'm scrolling through, correct. Great. All right, so that's ready to go. You'll also notice that on the side, each individual will have a color. My color is yellow, but if I click the drop down, I can switch over to Harry Potter, who's blue. So now it's there for their signatures and initials. So if I needed a signature initial for them, I can drag it over, and it's blue. If I also double click on this, I can come over to recipient on the right hand side and change that from Harry Potter back to me. Back to Harry Potter. If I want to delete something, I can select it, and I can either hit the delete button or the backspace button, or choose the tab that just opened up in there to delete it. Everyone's so excited about Docusign. I can feel it. I'm ready to have all this signed, so I'm gonna click send now. And it's going to be sent one to my email. I'm gonna sign these real quickly on my inbox. So I got so your client is gonna see this right here. Says, please sign exclusive right of sale listing document. You can click review document. This is also what you may see as well if you go through your email to sign this. Click start. There we go. And I just click now. How easy it is, just clicking. Click. Click. And it scrolls down to where I have to go. Click finish. It automatically will time and date stamp it because that date stamped it. Things. And it says you finished signing. Tell your clients they're not done until they see this. You finished signing. Because chances are it's going to sit in their computer if they don't see it. And they're gonna be like, well, I did it. Okay, did you click the button? Yeah. Did you see a blue sign? You finished? No. Okay, go back, do it again. Finish this. Make sure they see this. Tell them in your instructions. You finished signing. Yay!
Did you prefer to take like a signature or
Yes, no, yeah, if they have not used Docusign before, or you've not used Docusign before, a little box is gonna pop up, it's gonna ask you to adopt a signature and an initial. You do have several different choices in there, it'll say options, you can also upload a drawn signature if you'd like to as well. But the electronic one works just fine, because everything is stamped. That's a very good question. All right, I'm going to sign it here. Bear with me while I sign this as the other. Why do you not go? So my other one did not go through, so I needed to sign it again, or send it again. Why is this not going? Ah. All right. So on my phone, you can see that they can draw initials on here. Or they can choose an electronic one at the top, select style. So this is from the phone view, so they can sign it directly on their phone if they want to. They can draw initials. I say select style and just adapt an initial. Says need to sign still. I'm going to refresh the page. Both parties have signed now. There we go. Both parties have signed. It says completed. If I go into my documents, I now have two new pieces of paperwork. One is a certification. The other is the completed listing document. And you know that because it has that green check mark where it says completed. And then the certificate right here is to say that these people signed at this time from this IP address. So I don't need this right now. I'm going to just archive that, and I can recall anything that's archived at any time. So check mark and just archive, get it out of my way.
Question,
Yes.
when you are here,
Mhm.
can you move those forms from here? Like, if you want something before the as is, like if you want this one, because sometimes when you click,
Gotcha.
you choose it, the as is come in the middle, and you want the as is to be in the front.
So on here, we can't really move them, but in your envelope, you can. move them.
Yes,
In the envelope, you
I
can.
do it on the envelope, but
Yeah,
I
just,
cannot
but
do
here,
it
no,
here.
we can't.
Okay.
It is supposed to be alphabetical on this part. See, name is Z, A to Z right here. And I can do oldest to newest or newest to oldest, and then owner A to Z, owner Z to A. It doesn't let me rearrange them inside of here. But now I have a signed listing agreement. I'm gonna go into command because I have to upload this listing agreement. It's gonna ask me where do I want to attach files from. I'm gonna choose Docusign. Then working folder is gonna be Room Docs. If you do not check the working folder, this is gonna stay gray, and you won't be able to choose anything.
Okay. So what do you click to get that?
So I'm gonna make sure attach files from Docusign,
Docusign.
because I have a choice between my computer and Docusign. Then I'm gonna choose working folder, Room Docs. Listing agreement right here, and then if I click the drop down, oh, no, you do this to me. Refresh this. It's in there because I saw it. Room Docs. There we go. And I want the exclusive right of sale listing agreement transaction broker signed. So now I have this document attached. If I click on it, we can even see it in here. I'm gonna do that for all the rest of the paperwork that I need signed and uploaded in here. So that seller's disclosure statement, wire fraud prevention notice, and closing costs notice sheet, that's conditional, I would recommend putting it in there. We're gonna go follow this process
So you-
also under contract.
So you checked it here first, and then after you checked it, you got an option to upload it.
Yes, so what I did is I made sure that we're on Docusign
Yeah,
in Room Docs.
Room Docs.
And then I selected like the drop down box here. There was an option for it. Clicked on that, and now it's assigned to there. So now it's assigned to this specific spot to submit.
Okay.
Can we do another one?
Yeah, we want it.
I have a question.
Yes,
I only have the option for attached files. I don't
okay.
have that second box.
You may not have DocuSign connected yet. So inside of settings and command, there's gonna be an option for transaction management. You're gonna scroll down and there,
Probably that's what happened to mine too.
it might. Why don't we meet after this and we'll connect? Okay, let's do another. We're gonna do an as is. We'll do the as is contract. So I open up the as is.
And after that, that's it
I'm gonna show you how to do templates.
for templates.
Quick question,
Yes.
for that as is, when you're just getting them as a client and you want them to sign an exclusive agreement, where's that?
So buyer's broker, that's a very good question. Let's talk about that first. Let's talk about documents that we may need but aren't brought in automatically. I'm gonna click this add button right here. This add. I'm gonna choose DocuSign forms. On the left-hand side, I'm gonna have different packets. So inside of the packets, these are forms that were created by the Market Center, so you can easily put a package together. So let's say it's for a listing. So if I click on listing, a sales, gonna be all the paperwork we might need for a listing side. For sales pending, so the sales side, all the documents we may need for the sales side is in here. But maybe still, I'm looking for that exclusive buyer's brokerage. I don't see it, so I'm gonna click on bar. And I'm gonna come up to the search bar. I'm gonna search, nothing there, I'm gonna be a little general in the search, I'm just gonna search for buyers. I'm gonna
I
type
don't think it's there.
I have not been able to find
Oh.
it, maybe that's what it is, I'm putting exclusive.
Right. Exclusive buyer brokerage agreement, consent to transaction, transition to transaction. Exclusive buyer brokerage agreement, no brokerage relationship. Single agent, we want transaction broker.
Yeah, since I didn't find it, I just realized that I signed all these people under the single agent.
Oh.
It doesn't have the transaction broker thing, like,
Okay,
what, so I'm gonna have to do, if I found a property that was in our brokerage,
Well, there, so
then I
If-
would have to have them transition.
yeah, hold on. You sign up as a single agent, which means you have more fiduciary responsibilities to them. If you find a property that is one of our Keller Williams properties, then you have to transition to transaction broker. But you can always just have them sign this exclusive right of sale listing agreement, but not the listing agreement.
That one.
There's a consent to transaction,
Okay.
oh, it's this one,
No,
consent to transition to transaction brokerage. Exclusive buyer agreement, yeah,
And I'm sorry, what did you put in the search to find it?
I just typed in exclusive.
exclusive.
So I found the documents I need, and I'm gonna click add selected. One of these search engines for these particular things, it's easier to be general with them. Use something, one part of the word you're looking for, because if you become too exact, it doesn't see it. So I use the word exclusive, and we found it that way. Buyers didn't show up anything, even though the word buyers is in there. So try different parts of it till it does show up. I don't know where this came from. That's weird. But here's the exclusive, I don't know what that is. Save and close. We're gonna do the as is contract. So once again, this would be something I would fill in as much information as possible, so it transferred to the rest of my paperwork. I'm gonna go through here, let's see, I'm gonna give you the purchase price of $1,000,000, 0.00. And I'll say it's companies. All this fun stuff, you're making sure that it's filled out correctly. Text boxes. Disclosure. Oh, here we go. Let's say there's a condo rider, there's a home association, there is. Licensing property interest, licensing property interest. Additional terms, once again, text box. So something about the text boxes is that when it reaches the end, it's not gonna flow over into the next line. You have to click in the next line and start typing forward. So just so you know, it doesn't work the way that you would think it would. It stops at the very end, so click in the next box here and continue typing from there. Same thing when it comes to your property descriptions, your legal property description. It's not gonna fit in this one line neatly. You're gonna have to figure out where it cuts off and then start it off on the next line, and so on and so forth. Okay, save and close. So I need to get this signed, check box. Go to the pen to create an envelope. We're just gonna do seller one. Continue. Why am I doing just seller one? Yeah, I'm just doing the seller end. I represent the sellers, I do not represent the buyers. So I would not select anyone else except for the people that I represent. Do we have any questions so far? Add a recipient, so let's say the other agent needs a copy. I can send it to the other agent through here, and they'll just put the name in, needs to sign, receives a copy. So if I need to get rid of it, I'm gonna click this trash can. Maybe wondering what this customize is. If I click on that, I can also put an access code in here or add a private message just to this signer. I'll click next. Great. Initial. Initial. I think it's in here that I want to turn one of. They can't fix that. So everything looks correct. Get down to my signature side. Someone's initial, good. Seller signed. My information is down here. Co-op can go in here as well. If I need to make a correction, let's say they sent us an offer that I did not like, or the client did not like, sorry, the client did not like, not if I did not like. The client did not like, okay, well, I'm going to cross that out where I click on the pencil button on the left-hand corner, and choose line. And I'm going to draw a line through it. Draw a line. I'm going to come up here to text. Put a text box right above it. And put in the price we are willing to accept right here. I'm also going to put in, let's see, text. Put in. I will take that, and then I'm going to go into my standard fields and drag an initial here. A little bit smaller. And that's how you can make a correction in a Docusign form. Okay.
The biggest issue that I have, if you wanna, if they write something, you wanna bring a text box in top of something else, you cannot get rid of it.
Yes, that is true. You cannot get rid of the text box over, and if you put it on top, the writing still looks like it merges together and it's hard to read. That's why you have to be wary of when you put it in there of the spacing that you have. I can resize this space too. Like click on the box and use my handlebars. That down. I'll click send. So it says it's waiting for others. Yeah. Finish. Okay. Fresh here. Now completed. Go back into my documents. Here's my completed form. And where's my certificate? That's on. Oh, wait, no, that's fine. Is certificate archive. Archive. Here's my as is. I can go back into command, click my under contract. Purchase contract and addenda. So choosing from Docusign. My working folder is Room Docs. My purchase contract and addenda is this one here. And then I continue with whatever else required.
Quick question,
Yes, Francia.
as you do in the contract, after you filling that in, should you send it in, submit it? So you
Yes.
start reviewing it? I
So
haven't been doing that, that's why I'm asking you that.
no, you're going to hit submit once you have all of the required documents. You don't need to submit it
That you go.
as you go along,
So then.
but you need to have it within the required timeframes.
Okay, but now, what's happening is, let's say I'm about to do a closing, but I don't have one of the, they say they want you to submit it like 2 weeks before closing.
At least 10 days you should submit
10
before.
days before closing, but the thing is, that it's a form that they usually don't send you into like 2 or 3 days before, that's not the,
The
the
DA,
information as to what, that why it has to be to the table, and all
The
that.
HUD?
You need that,
Uh,
you need that after closing, or you need?
After.
So that one I don't have to wait.
You don't have to worry about that until, because in the closing inside of command, that's where you'll upload that.
But I think they ask you for it right on the, on the part we have to put the contract.
I don't do that.
Purchase contract is that?
This purchase contract.
You go down, isn't it there?
This is at the bottom. So in close, this is where you upload that right there.
That's not
Settlement
what I'm
statement.
saying.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the one at the beginning, right? Then I-
No, this is at the end. This
this
is,
is closed.
yeah, this is the
Okay,
closing.
this has to be closed. Okay,
In the listing documents, it doesn't ask for that either.
okay. All right.
It's only in close.
That was mistaken.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to show you guys how to do templates. When would you need a template?
So they have something already done, basically?
To make it faster.
Yeah.
And I can open
Yes, but we don't, I mean, we won't do open host contracts through here or anything like that.
Well, I say that, if, let's say, I'm at an open house and someone comes in without an agent, and we speak,
Oh, yes,
something
absolutely, yeah.
like
Something quick, something that you already know that you're gonna fill out the same information for in every document that you do, you can create a template for. So let's say that exclusive buyer brokerage agreement. We could do a template for that. So you're like, oh, I already know it's my information gonna go in there, it's gonna be the brokerage's information is gonna go in there. All I need is for them to sign it, so I don't need to rewrite it every time. So I'm gonna go into my documents at the top first. I'm gonna click on, it says my forms, forms and templates, it says library. Wait a minute, this does not. Click on personal, is it personal? This is new, 1 second. Oh. Okay. I see. Remember, Omer, what we were talking about, the new packets?
Mhm.
This is where you do it now. Oh, okay,
So it's there now.
yep. All right, so I'm gonna hit new template right here. It's gonna ask me to select a form, so it's gonna say DocuSign form library. I'm gonna choose the DocuSign form library or form packet, so I'm going to say library because the exclusive form is not in there. It's gonna ask me which library to use. I'm gonna use the Florida Association of Realtors. Then I'm gonna inform finder, in the little box, I'm gonna search exclusive. Oh, it's not exclusive. Ooh. Third one. That's the no brokerage agreement.
Transaction. Okay.
Use. So I'm gonna fill this in. I'm gonna leave my parties open, but my broker can get filled in. This is Kelly Williams. Or this will leave blank because each term is different for each person. I can leave this blank because that's different for each person. We can say buyer has been pre-qualified, pre-approved.
You just leave it blank if the other down top.
Because this is gonna be a template. Retainer, I can fill this in if I have a retainer fee. My percentages that I want in here for my services, protection period. So that, let's say. Buyer will pay broker's compensation within. Let's say, I don't know, what would you guys usually put?
180.
180? 180 days. Buyer compensation versus exchange. I'm not exact on the numbers, but this is what you could fill this in and save it. I don't know what the actual numbers should be. It's up to negotiation, really.
That would change.
Yeah, it just can all change for that.
Then you have to put the hand.
That's, yeah, special clauses. Any acknowledgements. So I'm gonna click save and close. So we made our first template. I can go back into my rooms. Back into my listing. I'm gonna get rid of what we already have in there. Fine. You can delete these as well. If I select them, I can click the trash can to delete. Let's say delete. That means they're gone. So it's not archived, I can't get those back. I'm going to add now. So if I want to use my template, I'll click the add button. Docusign forms. Choose the bar library. Exclusive. Transaction broker. It's going to ask me which version do I want, and it says template now. Click this, and I'll choose my template. Add selected.
And then it would be the specified document.
Yes, it'll put it right into my room. So I can open this up now and I can see that it is the template that I created. And my template information is here.
So that's it for today.
That's it for today.
But the other one, when you're gonna have the other one,
Which one?
to create
Need at the closing table?
you know, specific document that you want to put them.
Oh, that one, I don't know yet. I might just be able to do that.
Okay, thank you.
I need to meet with you and we'll make sure that you park as you should. You're a real.
That's why.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, then we'll make sure that you hear. Okay,
Greg, I didn't get the video for the last.
I just emailed it this morning.
That-
Yes, sent out this morning, yeah, to everybody, the YouTube link. Yes, that's right.
So I've been having issues with Docusign, but I want to know if it's because I'm using Safari and not Google Chrome.
It might be, but it shouldn't. What are the issues that are happening?
Every time I open a document, it just freezes in gray. Like it won't let me actually edit anything.
Yeah, go to Chrome, try Chrome. That's weird.
So like I was trying to do the
And that
templating
was
and
in
that's what comes
Safari?
up, huh?
That was in Safari, try it in Chrome.
Yeah. It happened to me yesterday with Chrome too, where like it just,
Have you cleared your cookies recently?
I did that yesterday and it worked again, and then today again, it's doing it,
That's weird. I wonder if you have a background process going that's using extra cookies and
Maybe.
caches.
maybe.
Try it incognito window in Chrome. Cause that won't do it. That won't save it. Right. Any other questions? Let me stop this. Share.